this past week had some pro days now, and I don't know if you keeping up with it, Mr. Burrs, but
of course
I am keeping up with it. I was supposed to head down to Baton Rouge for LSU's pro day. I could not make it. Jay Daniels, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas put on the show. And then the next day, out in the Pacific Northwest in Seattle, Washington, Michael Penix, Roma Dunze, Jalen Polk, Jalen McMillan, they put on the show. When you see a guy perform, good or bad, at a pro day, very rarely, very, very rarely, is it bad? Does that change your opinion on, I like this guy better than that guy? Or is it, okay, he was ranked ahead of him prior to the pro day, and so for me, he stays there? How do you see it?
I kind of have, mixed opinion about it because, these guys, you get the opportunity to prove yourself for, 2, 3, 4 years or whatever the case may be, to be evaluated to go into the draft. And, I've always felt that, obviously from the player standpoint and the scouts, they know that these guys are coming into this pro day. They're going to be in the best shape of their life because everything's on the line. And not everybody takes that approach from the pro day and the work ethic to the season. And it's just hard for me to grasp a pro day from a guy that I can turn on the film and turn on the tape when I see this, the guy playing, this way, and then on the pro day he absolutely blows the pro day away because he knows that this is his opportunity. This is what he has dreamed about, his whole career. And I don't really think I've seen too many pro days really change the trajectory of a player like 360 degrees. It helps, but a lot of guys don't work out in Indy. They feel comfortable at the pro day. And, I worked out at the pro day. I chose to work out at the pro day because Peter Ward didn't work out. I said, you know what? I'm going to work out because Peter Ward's not working out. That was my mentality. But, I think from a quarterback standpoint, it can help. I think you get a sense of, the throwing style or the arm strength of a quarterback. But I just think from a skill position player, change of direction in the 40 is really, the only thing that you can really evaluate them on. Ball skills, being able to catch a ball from a wide receiver standpoint, in coverage, because we all know in college you're always wide open, and in the NFL you're always making contested catches. So it's kind of hard to evaluate it from a wide receiver standpoint. I think everybody's saying like Malik Neighbors is, better than Marvin Harrison Jr.
Hey, when you bring up Marvin Harrison Jr., I want to ask you a question. I'm going to let you finish, but I'm going to give you my response on a pro day, and then I want to ask you a question about Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You want to ask me a question about him?
No. Go ahead and finish your point, though, about the pro days. We're going to get into an update here shortly, and so I want to get into that, and I want to go into Marvin Harrison Jr.
I think, for my pro day in 2000, there was one person that came out of nowhere, which kind of shocked everybody. I had my pro day the same day that Tennessee had their pro day. And before I ran my 40, it had been relayed to me. They was like, yo, Jamal Lewis just ran a 4.35. And you've seen Jamal Lewis play. If you know how big Jamal Lewis
huge,
is,
bro.
I think he ran a 4.35 40 at 6 feet, 6'1",
He's 6 feet, at least 225, 230.
230 at the time, and he shot up the draft board out of nowhere, and he was drafted number 5 by the Baltimore Ravens, and he wins a world championship in his rookie season. But I think that's one of those pro days that that I can remember, and also Ricky Williams and Edgerrin James. Everybody, because Ricky had just won the Heisman.
Yeah.
And Edgerrin James was picked in front of Ricky Williams, I believe. Is that true?
Yeah, he was. Edge was.
Yeah. So they thought that Edgerrin was a better running back than Ricky Williams, even though Ricky Williams had won the Heisman Trophy.
So I think with the pro days, it helps to a certain degree, okay? It helps to a certain degree. I will say this. For Penix, it had to help because, and again, you know this, Plax, like, for the last handful of years, we've had, for the most part, the top quarterbacks out here training with us. And so I've seen for the last 2 months, Jayden Daniels out here throwing. I mean, for the last year and a half, anytime he had a break, he was out here throwing. But specifically every day for the last 2 months, I seen Penix for the last 2 months. I seen J.J. McCarthy for the last 2 months. But we're talking Jayden Daniels and Penix. I didn't understand Penix is an average athlete. I told everybody at the combine, if Penix was running, he would run 4.4. They all thought I was crazy. I said, dude, I'm seeing him every day running. The boy can run. If Jayden Daniels had run a 40, low 4.4, high 4.3, guarantee. Guarantee. But throwing the ball, people were like, oh, Penix is a good thrower, but I'm like, y'all,
man,
this is where the pro day helps Penix because Penix has a cannon for an arm, and they're like, oh, he can barely throw. I'm like, what are they looking at? Because what I see is a cannon for an arm, extremely accurate, throws with great, like you'll watch him throw dig routes, bro. The receiver hasn't even broke yet. He's layering a ball on one. Man. He guns it on the neck like his comebacks and those type of throws. He throws with such great anticipation and accuracy. And then when you see him show off the arm strength, you're shocked. And so I think for him, that pro day helped him because you see in person, he's bigger than you think. And his arm is way better than you thought because you watch television, they'll make you believe he has an average arm. No. And his arm is above average.
Man, listen, when I was sitting here watching Michael Penix Jr. play all year, I'm saying to myself, I say, man, listen, this man is one of the most accurate quarterbacks that I've ever seen in college football.
But you have that accuracy along with a big, powerful arm that they were saying wasn't powerful. And so I think when you see it in person, that pro day had to have helped him because you start to see, wow, he's much better in person than I thought he was. I didn't think he can throw the ball like this. And so it helped him. Jayden Daniels will be the number 2 pick. Great arm, great accuracy in the intermediate, the short, deep. But I think for Penix, the pro day, for sure, that helped him. I don't know if it changed my eyes because I knew what my eyes had seen prior to the pro day and all these weeks of preparation. And so it didn't change my eyes, but I knew it would change the eyes of others once they saw him